This episode of Policing Matters podcast is sponsored by T4E, Training for Engagement. Learn more about realistic, hands-on training solutions for law enforcement, military, and security professionals at t4eguns.com. Hey folks, Warren Wilson with Police One. Welcome to Police One's Training Week podcast, sponsored by T4E, Training for Engagement. We're talking to my buddy Michael McCaslin, or Mike. He is the law enforcement channel manager for T4E. Mike brings over 20 years of law enforcement experience and has a passion for delivering realistic, budget-friendly training, force-on-force training for agencies of all sizes. And Mike's here to talk about T4E, his mission, and a little bit about force-on-force stuff. So, Mike, would you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, man. Name's Mike McCaslin. Was in law enforcement for about 23 and a half years. Served roles as a deputy sheriff, city cop, municipal, all the way up to state, federal, and tribal. Had a lot of tribal there at the end, being Choctaw Indian myself. It was a different game of law enforcement for sure. A whole different set of rules had to learn. But all in all, I had a great career doing it. Still continue to do it on the side as a reserve deputy for one of my local counties, so we can keep this training going for force on force. It's very important and very something I'm very passionate about.
Yeah, and you can tell in our pre-show meetings, you can really get a sense of that, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. This topic is as much of enjoyment it is for us. It might not be quite as much fun for everybody else unless they have a little background on force training and how enjoyable and how valuable it can be. So
Yes.
I've got a story, and I was going to ask you if you have a story that is like your most funny or humbling experience you had in force training.
Probably my most funny story is, back in the day when you and I did it, the protective gear was a lot less. We didn't have full face shields. You wore safety glasses or sunglasses back then years ago, and it was just the simunition type paint round that you would take that was pretty painful if it hit in the right areas. I've taken a few that's hurting the webbing of my fingers, but I think the my most funniest one that I paid for dearly, I'm a big fan, and pain fixes complacency. I just had sunglasses on. I took one right on the tip of my nose. Brought tears to my eyes and a little blood, but that's something I always remember, and still to this day, when I talk about it, I can feel that stinging. So,
I I always say pain and humility are our greatest mentors.
yeah.
Uh, when I was at a school in the 1900s, my first force on fours, and we were just using paintball guns back then. And I had an instructor come. Of course, I was 25 years old, so I knew everything. And I had the instructor come tell me that, hey, you're leading with your foot. I can see your foot when you're coming out. And I looked down. I'm like, I'm not either. He's just being difficult. And I said, I don't think I am. And he goes, okay. For the next iteration, he shot me right smack dab in my right pinky toe, and I can feel it to this day. I swear.
I
I
believe it.
couldn't.
I believe it. I
Man,
know your
that
pain.
that hurt. And so it's fun to look back on it. And now that we have the better safety equipment that was today,
We've gone a long way in the last
yeah,
20 plus years for force on force training, that's for sure.
we absolutely have. And of course, paintball guns aren't that great because, we were looking at, you were just, spraying and praying and they don't fit your hand and all that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a minute. But I just thought that would be fun way to kind of start that out.
You betcha. You betcha.
So what is T4E?
Training for Engagement, otherwise known as T4E, is our brand at Humorex that outfits law enforcement, military, security agencies with highly effective force on force training. That it gives you the tools to provide realistic training experiences at a lower cost. Budget's everything these days with agencies. I remember, when I was full time in law enforcement, it was budget, budget, budget. These powerful and cost friendly platforms provides the ability to train more and spend less, as low as 3 to 4 cents a round when compared to other training tools and ammunition. At lower cost, that equates to more budget allocation for more frequent training and equipment. No matter the size of the department or agency, these products are affordable training options. So if you're a 5 man agency or a 500 man agency, there's no excuse. We can get you fit where you can do hands-on force training, which is the more important than it has ever been right now with all the craziness going on.
Did you say 3 or 4 cents?
Yes, sir. Yeah, all of our
Okay.
force on force training guns shoot paint, powder, and rubber. My most expensive but most popular is our powder rounds because not everybody wants to use paint anymore. And I didn't like it because at the end of the training, you're having to clean that paint off, your uniform or your plate carrier or whatever, whatever type of training you were doing at that time. This powder is a food grade talcum. It smells like baby powder. It wipes right off. So it gets used a lot for active shooter alert training in the schools. We just did some down in San Antonio, Texas for a big conference we did down there with some active shooter training in the churches. Any of your public offices around your city that allows you to train. We've had some where I came from that would allow us to do that. This is just a lot cleaner and a lot safer than paint. Rubber, we do use rubber. It works great, especially on outer environments. If you're doing practicing felony stops or if you have a CQB shoot house, you can use any three, paint, powder, or rubber. But like I said, powder, for LE, you can get 500 rounds for about $44 compared to competitors, which I use the competitors for years at $1 plus a round right now. And we can get those products to you within 2 weeks versus if you order them today, you're not getting them this time next year.
I was gonna say, I think we're spending over $1 a round for the
Yeah.
munitions that we're using right now. So, well, that'll be nice. I'll be calling you after a while, for from wearing a different hat, I think, because I'd love to get our guys some more reps for
Yep.
cheaper.
And that's our motto. You get to train a lot more for less.
That's really cool. So, what drew you to T4E? Why, somebody like you has got your kind of experience. You could probably go to work for almost anybody. Why training for engagement?
Training for engagement, I had a gentleman who reached out to me about it. They were looking for someone with a strong law enforcement background and training. And as a former instructor, we started using it at our agency. I fell in love with it. I got tired of, I say back in the day when we first started training force on force, you're allotted only 8 rounds or you're only allotted 2 mags. That's to me that's not good practice. With this product, you can go all day. It don't matter if the cost you're saving at 3 to 4 cents a round. You get to do a lot more training for less, which is good. With everything going on in the world, it's getting crazier and crazier. Force and force training is imperative. Every agency, no matter what the size, needs to be doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's really cool. I tell you what, let's take a minute and thank our sponsor. T4E, Training for Engagement, provides the industry's most realistic training equipment to help professionals build skills with confidence and safety. From precision engineered paintball markers that replicate duty firearms to high quality gear for scenario based training, T4E helps you prepare for real world situations without real world risk. Equip your team with tools that enhance muscle memory, accuracy, and decision making under pressure. To explore the full line of training products, visit t4eguns.com. That's t4eguns.com. And we're back with Mike McCaslin from T4E, and we're talking about force on force and T4E's ability to kind of deliver us a product that would maybe get us a lot more reps in and still be able to afford it. So some folks might not understand how important it is. Like we talked about using paintball guns back in the day, and that gave us a little bit more than we had, but obviously that doesn't feel like our pistol or a rifle or whatever. It doesn't feel like our actual tools that we're using. They're not the same weight. The trigger doesn't work the same. The sights don't work the same. But I've been eyeing that M&P. I'm an M&P guy. I've been eyeing that M&P you guys have. Kind of tell me about why that's important, you think?
Well, if if you're assigned if you're issued a certain weapon, we have different T4E guns that we do make. So you say like the M&P, that is one of them that we do make. To me, the muscle memory and the repetition with that, the weight and balance is going to be really realistic to the gun. If that's what you're issued, it's going to feel just like your issued duty firearm. It's going to fit the holster just like your firearm. You're going to train how you play how you train. It's the most realistic thing you can get. It's not just a plastic gun with paint in it. This thing has all, like I said, all the way. You can do mag transitions, like all the muscle memory that you do at the range, at range day for qualification, or if you're on the streets with an incident. This gun's going to it has everything that your real firearm has as well.
That's I think that's so important. And there are some other, like you say, there's some other companies out there that make stuff like that, and we use them, and they're fine, they're great, but not for that kind of value. That is crazy. Um, is it sounds like you guys have really got the market cornered on the budget friendly stuff. You really are
Yeah.
trying to. That really is it really does sound like the motto is true there. So so with this, we can get more frequent training, more realistic training. Um, how important is that? How much value do you think that force on force adds, like supplementing classroom training, which is the least effective training? It's
Well,
the easiest
just
and
for
cheapest, but
Well, just
how does
for
that
example,
go ahead?
I give you like a paintball carbine rifle and let you go through a CQB shoot house, and then the next round we're going to do the real thing with the rifle we're issued. It's going to feel different. The weight and everything's going to be different. Your muscle memory is not. It's not going to be the same as what you use that training gun. These training guns, like I said, we got them as close as we can to the actual weight of whatever you're issued. They have blowback. They have mags where you can do mag transition, everything, just like your real firearm. So it's very important to me, in my opinion, to play how you train, train how you play.
So you think this kind of, there's a lot of folks use, a lot of departments use virtual reality and things like that. Would you see this as a supplement to that?
It is a supplement, and I use virtual reality like different types of systems for training. That the brain thinks that the brain, in my opinion, the brain concentrates. It don't give it the 3D effect like the virtual, like you're doing the virtual, and also the T4E guns, if you get hit with one of these type of sims, you're going to feel it. And like I said, I'm a believer that pain fixes complacency. So, and I get people sometimes that ask me, well, does it hurt? Yeah, it doesn't feel good, but if you're scared about a little pain, maybe you don't need to be carrying a badge. So
Yes. Well, and it's like you say, it's actually good for you. You're
it
not getting
is. It
seriously
really
injured
is.
or anything. But yeah, I think it adds that. I think 3D is a great way to look at that, because even the best VR simulators, it still really feels like a 2D experience,
Right.
even if they're wraparound or whatever. Some of those are fantastic, but it's only one element of it. Whereas Force on Force adds that 3D environment, and then maybe you get a little 4D with the pain
Sure.
with the pain.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree completely that just
I
adds
know.
another element to it.
When I use the T40 guns versus the virtual simulated type training systems that's still used today, you use your head. To me, I used my head. My thought process, my tactical mindset was a lot sharper and stronger when I knew the force on force concept versus the virtual concept. I was more sharp and aware. I was tactically thinking better with the force on force concept with the T4E versus the virtual.
Absolutely. So we use all three. We use all three or whatever else we can do, and kind of put them in a certain order for whatever
That's
skill, and
and
it
that's
seems to make
great.
a whole lot
That's
of
great.
difference. Seems to make a whole lot of difference that the folks are coming out a lot sharper than they were,
Right.
um, and they're not getting hit quite as much with the when we get into that point, they're not getting hit quite as much. Getting a
Sure.
little bit better idea.
Sure.
So that's that's fantastic. I mean, hidden training, by the way. Um, so this was really fun. Mike, thanks for being here so much. This was a kick. Where can listeners learn more about T4E products and training opportunities?
You give me a call here at Umerex USA, but you go to our website at www.t4eguns.com.
T4eguns.com.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you very much again, and I know you're a super busy guy, so we will let you go. But I really appreciate what you're doing
I'm
and what
grateful that
T4E is doing.
Very grateful. Thank you for letting me be on here. Like I said, happy to help anyone. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Happy to help anyone, assist anyone I can, and definitely go to that website and check it out. You'll be surprised how much more budget friendly and how much more hands-on training you can get. But you don't know if you don't reach out.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thanks again, Mike, for being here with T4E. Folks, do us a favor, be safe, be dangerous, get your training.